Today, I'm going to be going over some holiday gift ideas for the runner in your life. Yo, what's going on everybody? My name is Kofuzi and I'm a non-elite runner who loves to run and who loves to make videos about running and all the other stuff that can go along with running. And today's video is going to be a little bit different for those of you who are regular subscribers who have been watching every day. This video isn't exactly for you. Instead, this video is a gift guide for those of you who have a runner in your life and you're wondering what would be a great way to make them really happy come this holiday season when it comes to a gift. So there's a couple of things that I'm going to do when it comes to kind of setting the parameters for the gifts. I'm trying to keep the price points pretty low. Most of the stuff's going to be like $50 or less. That's my goal. The other major goal that I have is that you're not going to need to really know any sizes for anything. So let's get started with that. So the way that I'll kind of group things together is going to be like revolving around the stuff that runners need. They need to be able to eat stuff, drink stuff, wear stuff, watch stuff, and also buy more stuff. So that's kind of how I'm going to divide it up. And you'll be able to scroll along on the bottom by those different kind of categories. So first, let's talk about eating. Runners love to eat, but we also need to be able to eat while we're running. Some of us are going on really long runs and they're long enough that we need to refuel kind of mid-flight if you want to look at it that way. One thing to think about is Stroop waffles or these kind of like honey wafer cookies. These are a couple of brands that I really like. I've been liking them from a company called Goo and a company called Honey Stinger. Honey Stinger is kind of like the leader in the field in terms of this particular type of runner's snack. I got these on Amazon. And on Amazon, you could buy like boxes of like a single flavor. But I think what would make a fun gift is if you got like a sampler pack. And both of these companies, both Honey Stinger and Goo, offer variety packs of these Stroop waffles that I think would make for a really fun gift. Also along those lines, there's gummies. Now, some runners like to eat these gummies while they're on the run, not only just before. I prefer these kinds of snacks before my run just because like chewing something that's gummy and running at the same time is a little bit difficult for me, but for some people it's not a problem. But two brands that I think that have been really surprisingly good for me have been Cliff Blocks. I've been eating these for years, and one that I recently just started trying were these ones, again, from Honey Stinger. And they're both available on Amazon in variety packs. Now, I do want to say real quick before we go any further on this, I'll post links to everything that I talk about today down in the description down below. And a lot of that stuff is going to be affiliate links. That's going to be stuff that doesn't cost you anything, doesn't change the price for you, but it does help me and this channel out a little bit. The other thing I do want to put out there before we go any further is financial disclosures. There's a couple of things in here that were provided to me by the companies for the purpose of review when I reviewed them in other videos long ago. But the rest of the stuff, the vast majority of the stuff that I'm talking about today is stuff that I purchased with my own money that either I wanted to test myself or stuff that I just really like. No one's paying me to put any of these products in their video. No one's paying me to use any of these products that I'm going to talk about today. So I just want to make sure that you guys are clear on some of the financial kind of incentives that may or may not be out there. All right. So let's talk about other kinds of like in-flight fueling, if we're going to keep going with those terms. Now, these are the runner's gels that like the runner in your life, if they're running half marathons or marathons, they're probably spending a lot of time thinking about, looking at, and trying out a lot of these different kinds of gels. They're basically these little packets that have a paste. Well, some of them are more like a paste, kind of like toothpaste consistency. Others are kind of like almost like a liquid consistency. So there's a wide variety of types, consistencies, and flavors. Now, if you really want to splurge and show the runner in your life you really care, I would say get them a box of Martin gels. That is kind of like the best, the top tier gels that you can get. All the elite world-class athletes are swearing by this stuff. I absolutely love it. But it is expensive. There's like just the regular kind of Martin gels, and then there's also Martin caffeinated, which has a caffeinated version of it, which is very potent. I'm a big fan of those as well. So send your loved one a box of those as they're preparing for their race or as they're racing. It'll be something that they'll be able to take kind of like you along with them. So I think that works out really well. I love that as an idea for a gift. Here's some other gels that I use on a more regular basis. And the first two that I'll talk about are the only two products in this entire video that were provided by the manufacturer. And these are gels from Unived. They come in like a single and a double size. I usually call this one the tall boys because it's basically double the size of what's in here. These are for like a really, really long run. These are for a little bit shorter runs. And these are my two flavors. There's a salted caramel and there's this like vanilla flavor. These are the best. They have a wide variety of flavors and you can also get these on Amazon as well. Some of them are caffeinated, some are not. These are ones that I particularly enjoy, but there's not the only ones that are out there. Here's another kind of sampling of these running gels that I like to use. Another name that I like is Cliff. Now these Cliff ones are probably the most cost effective. They also tend to have a lot of caffeine in them, which I'm a big fan of. And you can also get these on Amazon, again, in that sampler pack, which I think, again, makes for a really fun gift. Two other companies that also offer their products in sample packs, both on their websites and on Amazon, is Science and Sport and Huma. And Huma is probably one of my favorite. It's kind of like eating like a fruit puree, really nice, but it's also got all the stuff that you're gonna need to be able to perform well on your run. So these are really enjoyable for me. And the Science and Sport, this one is really liquidy. So it's almost like you're drinking this gel rather than eating or chewing it. But these are also really easy to digest. So for a lot of runners, they have gastrointestinal issues because you're running and eating at the same time, not usually a recipe for stomach happiness, but these tend to be some of the most gentle and tend to work for the widest variety of people. So if you're not sure like where your runner kind of fits along that spectrum, a variety pack of these I think will go a long way. Next, we've talked about things that you can eat. Now let's talk about things that you can drink. Now water is also perfectly fine, but something that I like to do as long as I'm drinking something is put some extra stuff in there like sugars, salts, maybe a little extra caffeine. I think we're sensing a theme here. I love caffeine. And other electrolytes that your runner might need to be able to keep going on those longer efforts, especially when we're thinking about summertime or hotter weather running, or if you're doing a lot of treadmill running. So here's a couple of brands that I've been really enjoying. One is from Spring Energy. Spring Energy is known for having all natural products, so you're not going to get any synthetic stuff in these. So a lot of people that are going that route with their gels, they also make really fantastic gels as well. They also started recently making these drink mixes. These are very tasty. Tastes like you're drinking like straight like fruit juice. Really good. Another one that I find really nice is Scratch Labs. Scratch Labs, I really like these because you can make like a smaller batch of it. You don't have to make like a giant like 1 liter amount of drink mix at a time. These tend to be a little bit smaller, and so that just the serving size, I like this form factor a lot. The taste is also really good. Another one that I've enjoyed quite a bit this summer was Tailwind, which is a brand that's been very popular with runners. Now both the Scratch and the Tailwind, again, are available on Amazon in variety packs. And if you're not sure what they like, or if they've never had that brand before and you know that, I think the sampler pack is a great way to introduce someone to the brand. And it's a lot more fun because then you're like getting a sampling of a lot of different flavors. And now you're gonna need a way to be able to carry these gels and all this drink mix. And so that's the next thing that I'm gonna talk about. This is called a flip belt. What it is, it's basically just like a sleeve of fabric that you wear around your waist. And it's got little pockets inside that you could stash gels. There's even a little loop that you can attach your keys. And this water bottle can also slip right inside it. So this water bottle holds 10 ounces. And for me in the summer, most of my runs, having 10 ounces of fluid is just the right amount. I might bring 10 ounces of fluid and 1 or 2 of the gels with me, and that'll take care of me for most of my runs, except for my like longest ones that I might do on the weekends. So this is the one that I get the most use out of, even though it isn't the biggest. Plus, when I'm running faster, or when I'm trying to run fast, not that I run fast, but when I'm trying to run faster, this one, because it kind of sits right on the small of your back when it's sitting inside this flip belt, it sits in a spot where it's not bouncing around a lot. So it's very comfortable to run with as well. So this water bottle is pretty cheap. I think it's like less than 10 bucks. And these flip belts come in a variety of colors and is not that expensive either. And I run with this thing in the summer several times per week. If your runner already has one, because they're probably using it frequently, especially in the summer, it's going to get sweaty and kind of gross. It never hurts to have another one of these. And right now, at least in the northern hemisphere, with the temperatures starting to get colder, with winter approaching, something that I'm wearing every day is a neck gaiter. Now, these are something that the runner in your life may already have. And what it is, it's basically just a tube of fabric, but it goes over the neck. You can pull it up on a really cold day and wear it over your face. And so for me in my winter running, I'm wearing one of these every single day. Or also you could wear them as a headband. You could wear it around your wrist as kind of like a wrist sweatband. There's lots of different ways that you can wear them. Buff is the major player in this category. And like the flip belt that I mentioned before, even if the runner in your life has one, they can always use another or several more. They come in lots of different colors, patterns, materials. For the wintertime, the merino wool ones are one that I would highly recommend. You're gonna wanna wear one every day, but you're maybe not gonna be able to do laundry every day, so you're gonna need to have a couple in your rotation. I feel like giving a runner a neck gaiter is kind of like giving like a dad a necktie on Father's Day, except this is a gift that the runner is actually gonna really love, but it's something that you can give pretty much any runner and they're gonna appreciate it. Now let's talk about eye protection, and I'm gonna talk about Goodr sunglasses, Goodr. They're probably the most popular brand of runner sunglasses. They're lightweight, the designs are fun, and they're pretty cheap. Most of the frames are coming in at $25 to $35. This is a pair that I've had for several years. I love like the gold mirror finish on these. I wear them a lot in the summer, but I find that I wear them even more in the wintertime because once there's snow on the ground, there's a lot of light reflecting up at me, and that's when I really want to be able to have some sunglasses. A pair that I recently picked up were these, which is a new style from Goodr. So even if your runner has been wearing Goodrs for a while, they might not have the new aviators, and I've been loving these over the summer and in the wintertime, in addition to being useful in blocking out sunlight that's getting into the eyes. Sometimes it's nice to just have something covering your eyes because it's so cold out there. So again, another reason why I wear my sunglasses more often in the winter than I do in the summer. And I feel like the Goodr sunglasses are definitely my favorite. Next, let's stay on the topic of cold, and something that I think might be like a good stocking stuffer, or if you're gonna make like a little gift basket, maybe put some chews in here, maybe put some gel, some drink mixes, put some hand warmers in there too, especially if your runner is an outdoor winter runner. You can either buy an entire box, and I buy them by the case because I use a pair of these every day for my runs. But if you only want to get like a handful of them, they're usually like about $1 per each packet of these. And there's 2 of them, one for each hand. You just slip them inside your running gloves. You can find them like at the counter or like the impulse aisle of like a lot of grocery stores or like hardware stores. I think I've also seen them like at Dollar General. They're right there, again, right by the cash register. And I think that this is a particularly nice gift if the runner in your life is new to running. Maybe they picked up running during the pandemic and everything got shut down, and they're gonna try winter running for the first time. They might not know yet that you're gonna need some hand warmers in the glove, so that could definitely be a lifesaver. So that's something that I would highly consider. It seems like kind of a boring gift, but I would absolutely love, and usually my mother-in-law gives me a box of them for Christmas, and I absolutely love it. I think about her all winter long as I'm running because she gives me those hand warmers. Another gift that might seem boring to anyone else, but to runners are going to be super fun, and that's socks. Running socks are one of those things where every runner knows they need to have some of them. Maybe not an entire drawer full of them, but at least some of them. But they can get pricey sometimes, like compared to regular socks, they get expensive. So they might not have as many as they want. So you can definitely always give a runner another pair of running socks, and they're gonna be pretty happy with them. Let me talk about 2 brands that I particularly like. One, and this is because I'm a black socks kind of guy, I just like black socks. Usually in the summertime, I like low cut or no-show socks, but in the winter, I'll go a little bit taller. So these are a pair of socks from a brand called Darn Tough. Darn Tough socks are made in the United States in Vermont, and they have a lifetime guarantee. Not only do they make really great short socks, but for the winter, I also love their over the calf socks. They're made with a special kind of like insulated type of fabric that makes them extra warm, even though they're very thin. So perfect for your winter long runs. Those are some of my favorites. Another brand that I really enjoy for their socks is Stance. They come in a lot of fun colors. They make them in black too. Most of my Stance socks are just kind of black and low key, but also sometimes they do like kind of like cross collaborations. One pair of socks from Stance that I've been looking for a long time and just have never been able to find is the Wu-Tang socks. Man, I really want a pair of those. But they also, I just saw, I don't know if this is new or if they've had them for a while, but they had some Beastie Boys Stance running socks as well. So definitely a fun pickup. They've got some elf socks, which can make a really fun, like holiday themed holiday gift as well. So that's a very fun option. They also make winter socks in merino wool, which can help with keeping their feet extra warm through those winter miles. So that's all the stuff that the runner can wear. Now let's get to some of the more like pricier gifts that you might want to give. And for this category, I'm going to very like cautiously get into the category of like GPS running watches. Now I do it cautiously because I feel like for most seasoned runners that have been wearing running watches for a while already, they're probably already thinking about what next running watch they want to get. So like getting that running watch for them as a gift, especially a really expensive one, could be very risky and not something I would generally recommend. But if you have that new runner that maybe picked up running in the last year or so and has been running with their phone and has just been thinking about like, do I want to get a running watch? Is that something that I want to do? Am I a runner enough to do that? Then I think there are a handful of options that I think are really good to get that kind of reluctant GPS watch buyer to get their first GPS watch. And here are the three options that I think would be really great. One is going to be the Coros Pace 2. That watch, I believe, is $250, so it's a little bit more expensive than all the other gifts that I've been talking about already. But I feel like that watch, it's brand new this year. It's going to be difficult to get. So if you can get it, hop on it right away and pick it up. I'm even having a hard time trying to pick up one of those, but it's super feature rich. It delivers a ton of value for the money, and it's going to make any runner happy, and especially for a runner who's been not sure which one to get. They're definitely getting a solid choice with that one. Another one that I would also strongly recommend is going to be the Garmin 245. I run in a couple of different Garmin watches, and I feel like the 245 is the one that for me delivers the most value at the lowest price. And I just feel like that's a really great intro watch that not only are you going to be happy with that as your first GPS running watch, a lot of the runners that I know are very happy with that as their running watch, even though they've had many other ones in the past or had the opportunity to purchase other ones. They still love that Garmin 245. It's a fantastic choice. Another one that I'll also look at because it's a Black Friday deal is the Polar Vantage M. Now I have the Polar Vantage V2. This is my favorite watch. It's on the premium high end. But if someone is not sure if they want to dive in and make the expense and buy that GPS running watch, the Vantage M I think is a fantastic choice. It delivers a lot of the same features as the Vantage V2, but at a much more compelling price point. And with a Black Friday deal, I think they're selling it under $170 now. So that's definitely something else that you could take a look at. One other thing that a runner would love to have, if they don't have it already, is not exactly a watch, although you look at it kind of on your watch, and that's this. It's called the Stride Foot Pod. It's this tiny little thing, and you wear it on your shoe. You clip it onto your shoelaces, and with that, you can get tons of other different kind of running data that you can't normally get from just a watch. And so if you have a runner that's a super data nerd, that's definitely something that you're going to want to get for them. Again, it's a little bit more expensive on the higher end in terms of cost, but this category is for, I think, the splurge gift for that runner that's extra special to you. Now, one last category, in case none of those things really apply to you, I think that any runner would appreciate are gift cards. Who doesn't love gift cards anymore? A lot of runners like to save up for the special race shoe, that extra expensive but extra special shoe that they've been eyeing all year long. And if you get them a gift card, it might not be enough to cover the entire cost of the shoes, because running shoes, especially the really expensive ones, are getting pretty pricey these days, but it'll help them defray the cost of it. And again, it's one of those things that when they lace them up for their big race, that big marathon that they've been training weeks and months for, it's something that they're going to be able to bring you with them. So I think that really works. The three kind of main categories of running specialty stores on the internet are going to be Fleet Feet, Running Warehouse, and Roadrunner Sports. They all offer electronic gift cards, and I think that both Running Warehouse and Roadrunner Sports also offer like a physical gift card that you can mail to someone as well. So that's another option. If you have other even more independent or more specialized running stores in your area or where your runner lives, I'd also highly recommend seeing if they have gift cards as well. So that way you can help support the local running community to where your runner lives. One other kind of gift card, which is not really running related at all, that I would love to be able to get as a runner. I spend a lot of time out there on the roads running. Not only do I listen to music, but I also spend a lot of time listening to podcasts and audiobooks. And so you can do a gift subscription for a couple of months to up to a year of audible.com. Audible is one of my favorites. They're not a sponsor. I really wish that they were, because I go through a lot of audiobooks out there on my run. Giving the runner in your life a subscription to that would be a great way to kind of combine a couple of things that they might want to do. Getting out there, getting some exercise, and also like feeling enriched because they're listening to audiobooks. So that's another great gift. And I always like to give bonus whenever I do any kind of gift guides like this. So the last bonus that I'll talk about, if none of the other things are really going to be the right fit as far as a gift is for the runner in your life, is to get merch. And that would be shirts, hats, stickers, hoodies from the YouTube channels that your runners are watching. If they're an avid runner and they're looking up shoe reviews and they're looking up GPS watch reviews, they're probably getting a lot of that information from YouTube. Those YouTubers, the Instagrammers that they're following, they all probably have merch stores. I made an entire video about this yesterday, and I'll put a link to that in the description down below as well, because that is a whole other just giant video that I was able to put together for some of the most likely channels that your runners are watching, and they could pick up gear to not only show support for the channels that they're watching, they're also able to take those channels along with them when they go running, which I think is a lot of fun. I know I'm a big fan of collecting all the different merch from all the channels that I watch, and I know a lot of runners out there feel the same way. So those are my thoughts on really great gifts for runners that aren't too expensive, except for that one category, that aren't too expensive and don't require you to know a size. So hopefully you can find something that your runner will love in there. If you have any questions about what would or wouldn't make a good gift, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'd love to answer any questions you have there. Or better yet, I do a live stream every day on YouTube, 3 p.m., but not today, because today this video is coming out on Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way, everybody. But every other day, I do a live stream every day, 3 p.m. on YouTube. You can always feel free to ask me a question there. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there on your runs, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yo, what's going on?